Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy 8 p.m. Let's see. So if you might notice, the setup is a little bit different today. My monitor just decided not to work, so I don't know what the future of that is. Anyway, today's topic is feeling sad for no reason. And how do I say this? This is going to be a very raw, open conversation about and sometimes we feel sadness and we don't exactly know why we feel the sadness. So yep, today will be that conversation. I hope that the internet doesn't work or it doesn't lag today because I forgot to switch over the internet to the more stable one. So anyway, give me a second. Let me at least sorry if you notice some disruption. I will itself right now. So please give it a second. Especially people on Facebook. Okay. I do apologize in advance if the stream is a little bit choppy. I didn't have time to fix the internet. Okay, anyway, let's dive into this. Today's conversation, again, it's going to be raw. So if you're not open to having a very raw, vulnerable conversation, then I'm going to invite you to leave the conversation. Let's see here. Please give me a second. We're having some connection problems on Facebook. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're back. Alrighty. So let's do this. This is not a fun conversation for me, but I would say it's a necessary one. So what I'll say is in this moment right now, I will say that anxiety. I'm feeling I'm feeling a little bit down right now. And it's kind of weird. It's weird to say that. Today I would say was a pretty good day. I had a very good start with my day. I worked out for an hour 45 minutes. I pushed myself, came back. I hustled. I did a lot of work. I was very efficient. Not efficient. I did meaningful work today. So I should feel good about that. But I noticed as my day continued, my day less and less exciting. And yeah, so I don't know where this conversation, how deep this conversation is going to go because it's pretty personal. So let's see. Here's what happened today. So after I'd finished my work, the bulk of my work at 2 p.m. I went to go eat at Suplantation, which is like we'll call it a healthy buffet. Like I had a lot of vegetarian food, salad, all that kind of stuff. I bought groceries at Costco, and then when I came back home, like I felt productive. I felt like I was on this productivity train. Hey, David, good to see you on. And a random person you might possibly know. And yeah, Mike, Delana. So, all right, where do we go from here? I'm going to be honest. So I don't exactly know why I feel all this anxiety. I think there's a lot of different pieces to why I'm feeling anxious in this moment. I think, hold on, one, two. I was just journaling about this right before this. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to start. I'm sorry if I'm being, not being direct with what's going on in my life. It's like it almost feels like these things just came out of nowhere. So I'm honestly still processing it. Really, why I'm sharing with you like this, the fact that I don't even know all the answers is because we as human beings, we feel sad for quote unquote no reason. We don't know why we feel sad. We just feel sad. For me, but what I'm realizing through this process, like I've been thinking about this for the past 2 hours, and what I realize is, how do I say this? I believe there always is, there always is a reason why we feel sad. We get to take the time to kind of slow down and process and understand why are we feeling sad. Important is I want to almost say acknowledge, accept, and action. Like those are my three, type of thing. That's like the 3 steps to getting back on track with life is acknowledge, accept, action. AAA. So Acknowledgement. I think that's kind of the phase that I'm in right now. It's acknowledging that I'm feeling emotions, sadness, all this kind of stuff. Another part of acknowledgement is it's more of the understanding part of it. Like, why am I feeling anxious and sad? I think there's at least three different reasons. One of the reasons why is because, um, like, I've been, how do I say this? So there's a huge convention coming up for speakers called Kata. I don't know if anyone knows Kata here, or if any of the administrators or people who go to Kata are watching this. But it was like I have an exhibit booth there, and in a way, I feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to create a brand that really represents who I am as a person. I'm not there to how do I? Yes, of course I want to look good. Not like well, I want to come off the right way. Like I want to make sure my booth represents who I am. So I'm putting a lot of thought into it, and I'm really doing my best to really solidify my brand. This convention is in what? It's in about a month. And to do branding, to print out all the promotional materials, all this kind of stuff, it's not a lot of time. Like it takes time to print everything. So I'm having a lot of anxiety around that, and guess I'm processing out loud. I think part of the reason I feel that anxiety and that kind of like that sadness is I think I'm being resistant to the whole branding aspect of it. Like I think the fear that's coming up, oh, this is so raw. Like it might not be super impressive, but it's very raw for me because it's literally I'm thinking about this on the spot. I think what's coming up for me is how do I say this? The Ritual Code brand, this the speaker brand, like I want it to be almost perfect. Like I want it to represent who I am. And look, I'm not saying I need to be perfect. I just wanted to get it down. Maybe my branding is about being imperfect. Like I don't know what it is. I know my branding. A lot of it is about being authentic, but it's like it's weird. It's like it's almost like I'm striving for this authenticity or like this perfect imperfectness, which it's so contradictory in a way. But it's like if I'm going to create a brand, whatever it is, along with kind of like the feeling, the message that I want to give with my brand, have whatever you can say, logos, the colors, the fonts, like everything. I'll have to keep changing it in the future. But given that I only have a month, honestly, like how do I say this? It's weird. It's like made plenty of logos in the past. I don't think I want to design my own logo for this one. Like right now, richco.com. It's a very it's based off a template. It works. It looks nice, but it's just like works because it's very heavy. Like it has a lot of photos there, so it's not hard. And a website could be easily changed. When you print out a huge banner that costs like $500 to $1,000, is not something you want to mess around with. It's like I don't want to print out a banner and then like you know that's my brand changes and I got to throw away the banner or something. Or so thought I have it's so in a way I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. That's what's going on here. So back to feeling sad for no reason. I see your comments. I'll get to your comments in just a second. Let's see. So feeling sad for no reason. Let me see here. Anxiety. What I'm identifying right now is that sadness that I'm feeling. One, anxiety. Like for me to pinpoint the anxiety that I'm feeling right now, like I'm like right now my chest it's tight. It's like it's like it's hard for me to breathe because I'm anxious. So, and I know that anxiety is coming from that part of it. How do I see it? I feel like a lot of my anxiety right now and this is such a raw, open conversation because in other live videos, you might see me talk about how um, this is how you calm yourself down. This is how you deal with anxiety. And when I'm not feeling anxious, it's easy to talk about how to not feel anxious. But when you're feeling anxious, it's hard to how do you calm yourself down? So, a little taste of my own medicine. Like I got to practice what I preach, right? So, all right. So, what I will say is, I don't know how to say it. Like today is one of these days where I do something productive. Like today was pretty productive. Ready. I usually brush right before I go to bed, but it's I brush my teeth at 7:30. Two things that I do at 11, which is like later. So let's keep going. Like keep pushing yourself. Keep doing something productive that's going to move you forward. That's what I've been doing. Journaling was really nice. I got to a little bit about why I'm feeling this anxiety as well as this sad feeling. I would say there's a little bit of uncertainty in my life as well. It's let's see. I'm gonna go with it's such a weird. It's a really weird thought. It's like what I find in this moment is that the anxiety I'm feeling almost doesn't even matter. Know? I just feel anxious in this moment because there's so many unknowns. There's unknowns with my branding that I want to do, and it's not about the branding. It's about the deeper thought or story behind the branding. Um, Comments, I appreciate it, and everyone else as well. Sorry, I haven't read them yet, but I will most definitely read them in a minute. So hang tight for a second. Let's see here. Yep. So, I'm using this opportunity to think out loud. I spent the past hour, I will say 30 solid minutes writing things down and processing what I'm thinking. Share with you more as I process this even more, even after the stream station related. How to deal with anxiety. We will have a special live stream about anxiety. How do we? I'm going to bring some special guests in. Um, and how do we deal with that? So I'll keep you posted. So let's go ahead and dive into some comments right here. Hey, Peter, good to see you on. Good morning. Yeah, alrighty. David says, when I have anxiety, I play with my pet. Is it gerbil? Gerbil, you should get a pet. Oh, that sounds like fun. It sounds like fun to play with the pet. It does not sound like fun to take care of. I'm going to say. Let's see. Melissa on Facebook says, I get that anxiety is an emotion, so it'll attach itself to things that aren't the root. Like when you're mad at one thing and you take it out on bad drivers, sometimes calming yourself down makes you anxious. The message gets cut off on mobile. Yes. Hold on. Sorry about that. David said, I named my pet gerbil Lemmy Winks. So cute. All right. Sorry. You know what, Melissa? Sorry, I'm gonna on desktop right now and read the rest of your comments because I want to read your comments and understand what is up here. Hang tight, peeps. Hang tight. That's so weird. Oh goodness! Stop. So sorry, I'm gonna repeat this. Melissa on Facebook says, I get that anxiety is an emotion, so it'll attach itself to things that aren't the root one, and you take it out on bad drivers. Down makes you more anxious because it only highlights the fact that you're anxious. So accepting anxiety is hard, but allows it to not be as big. Thing is anxiety. Yes, I agree with that. It's being okay with it. So again, out of the blue, but I love this framework. I call it the 3 A's. It's the 3 steps. It's acknowledge, accept, action. So first thing is you acknowledge that you have the anxiety. Step number 2 is you accept the anxiety, accept that you have it, and just let it be. Don't resist it. Just let it be. A is for action, which is you take action towards whatever situation that you have. Okay. Uh, Melissa says the world is bonkers, so I'd be more concerned if someone was never anxious. Nice. Alrighty. Okay. YouTube, did not forget about you. Let's jump on over here. Icy Henry says, let's see. Okay, sorry about this. I'm missing a few hellos and stuff. Kitty, good to see you on. I like the notice hashtag notification squad and hashtag noti gang. Icy Henry says, rather interesting this topic pop up because I am feeling rather on it this moment. Goodness, your people's vocabularies are so brand. Despondent meaning in low spirits from loss of hope or courage. Please forgive me for my vocabulary and needing to use Google. Yeah. So let's see. It says, it's okay, hugs. Just see this through. You saved my life one day. Oh, what? That warms my heart. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but thank you for saying that. Like, I'm getting a little bit emotional hearing that. I don't know what that really means to the full extent. Henry, good to see you on. Onathox, house. He always says hello to everyone. I love it. Tanya says, I'm so glad you are making this video, Richard. This happens to me a lot. Says hi. This topic. By the way, the reason why, once in a while I enjoy doing the daily Facebook lives because it filters from just being positive all the time. It shows you that when I have bad moments, or I don't want to call them bad moments, when I have not so great moments, that it's real, that it happens. And yeah, so I'm still processing through it in this moment, and or I don't know how to say it's comforting me in this moment, being here with me and joining me in this conversation about feeling sad for no reason, quote unquote no reason. There's always a reason why we feel sad. Feeling anxious, quote unquote no reason, or not being clear on why we feel this anxiety. I've already repeated the whole, like, the main message here. I'll repeat it again, and then we'll continue talking about it or getting more in depth with it. But the idea is, if you feel any kind of emotion that you feel, there's always a trigger, a reason for why. Sometimes we don't know what the trigger is. If you ask me, let's say, why was I feeling this way? I don't know. And to be honest, let me do everything in order here so it makes sense. Again, there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why we feel the emotions, negative or positive, is that we feel. In this case, I'm feeling anxious in this moment still, even as I'm talking to you. But, honestly, I don't feel sad anymore. I still feel the anxiety though. So I want to share with you a little bit what happened to me earlier today. And I think many of you could relate with this as well, because you might do something similar. Earlier on today, a little anxious. Ooh, interesting. Coming up. Okay, so here's a thought that I'm having right now. I feel like a lot of times what causes anxiety thing that turns into 2 things, that turns into 3 things, that turns into 4 things. Like, it just snowballs. It's like little things, and then they all add up to create this huge anxiety snowball. It just keeps growing bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. So I'm saying that is because when I went to lunch, I sent out a bunch of emails, and because I was kind of like waiting for responses. This is my first time kind of reaching out to schools and asking if they're looking for a speaker or anything like that. So anxious because like for me, I value relationships, and um, I don't want to rub off on people the wrong way. And sometimes it happens, especially when you just meet someone. And I'm not. I really am not trying to sell myself. It's a service, and for anyone who's interested, awesome. If not, cool. So I think that was anxiety number one. Then I went to go eat at Suplantation. Had a great with some soup and stuff like that. And you know what? I think what even though I ate all vegetables and relatively clean, kind of added. How do I say this? I allowed myself to eat a little bit more than I should have. I had a salad. I had two soups, I think. I was like, like, is there anything else? Like, am I done? And I was already full, but then I ended up eating another, like, a baked potato. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it was a pretty clean baked potato with like veggies and stuff like that. So that I didn't really need to eat the extra baked potato, but I ate it anyway because I'm like, I'm at a buffet, might as well fill up. I have just a bad rationalization because my goal is not to save money or like make this get the most value out of it, but rather is eating clean and healthy and not overeating. And then I overate. Then I came back home. I think within an hour from coming home, I was snacking on nuts. I had on like hummus and cucumbers or something like that. Anyway, like the point is like point to this. My point. Okay, here. Let me get to the point. I'm giving way too many details. The point is, sometimes when we feel anxious or sad, what we do is we do an emotional something. A lot of times it's emotional eating. Bad habit of mine is when I feel sad or these emotions, I emotionally eat, meaning I eat kind of fulfill kind of like this void or this boredom. And that's how I used to get fat. And it's funny because clean, but I'm still consuming a lot. So food today, I did a lot of vegetables and stuff like that, but it was a lot of food. So talking about feeling sad for no reason. I know many of you probably do the same thing. Like when we feel all this anxiety, we tend to retreat in some way. So whether it's emotional eating, some of us play video games. Like that was another one of my vices. It was like sad or anxious, and I just want to escape. I go one of my bigger escapes. That and food. Those are probably my two big ones. Watching Netflix, I don't know. There's a lot of different things that we might do. Sleep. Okay. Another thing is anyone who ever feels sad, or for anyone who ever feels like that anxiety, like whatever pressure, that negative emotion, just one more time because just to wrap it up, I think really the solution revolves very similar around the three A's: the acknowledge, accept, action. Specifically, I think the solution to letting go of these emotions really is it's acknowledgement. It's literally emotion. My recommendation to you is to not just hide it, not just ignore it, because the saying goes, what you resist persists. So if you resist the anxiety, if you almost just ignore the anxiety, it's going to be there until you address it. And I think self-awareness is really important. I think when you notice that negative emotion, it's important to stop what you're doing. As long as it's reasonable. If you're doing something super important, then keep doing it, complete it. When you have a moment, stop. Hi, Maria. Good to see you on. And take some time. I'm going to Jeff Alden here. Take time to think. The 4 T's. Take time to think. The idea of just the best solution is to take time to think, to just pause and really figure out, why am I feeling the way I am? And like, try keep it simple, simple, stupid. Like, don't overwhelm yourself with not knowing why you're feeling overwhelmed. Because sometimes we can it can be possible for us to beat ourselves. We're like, man, this is so frustrating. I don't know why I feel anxious. I just feel anxious. Be patient with yourself. You know, if you have a hard time understanding why, just be patient. Don't beat yourself up even more. That's not going to help you feel any better. But yeah, for anyone who's looking to break the cycle of anxiety, it starts with self awareness. It starts with really understanding what is the root. Why am I feeling the way I am? And until we understand the root, until we can acknowledge and then accept and then action. Action is the noticing. Okay, here's the problem. Okay, I finally discovered the root. Is that in Richard's case that I think the anxiety in my root is, first of all, I got too many anxiety problems right now. I got like 4 things that I'm anxious about. The one thing that I already explained a lot about is the fact that I'm trying to rebrand. For me, I got to slow down, slow down this whole branding conversation because it's huge. It's like there's 100 different things that have to do within the branding umbrella. This one thing that's causing anxiety. So, and look at the branding umbrella, this branding anxiety umbrella. Like, why is this giving me anxiety? Break it down into even smaller pieces and address one little thing at a time. That's what I get to do because it's overwhelming. I got so many different things going on. So, there we go. Like, work on one little thing at a time. I think that's really the solution to anxiety. And I'm going to be honest. This whole branding thing. If you're just hopping on right now, I just want to say, when I refer to branding is like rebranding my whole entire. It's more than just. This is like this conversation go off topic, but long story short, I'm trying to rebrand my business, and there's a lot that goes into it, more than just logos and colors and that. But I've honestly been putting off branding for this week because it's been so overwhelming, so stressful, because it's like there's so many pieces to it. And whenever I see it on my to-do list, I'm like, tomorrow. Why? Because it's overwhelming. So if something feels overwhelming and you're feeling anxious, I think what we get to do is the third A, which is action. Action starts with breaking it down into smaller pieces. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So that's what I gotta say. Listen to my own words right after this and start breaking down. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to deal branding is fun. I love doing this, but it's also very overwhelming at the same time. YouTube, I'm going to get to your comments in just a second. Maria says, the more you take the time to stop, the easier it gets to acknowledge and identify. I agree with that for sure. All right, let's get to the YouTube comments right here. Who is new to the stream, just letting you know that we stream both on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Comments, so don't feel like you're left out. I read it. I do my best to read every single comment. I'm human, so I accidentally miss some comments. If I miss a comment, just let me know and I'll see it. Okay, Tea and Cream says, are there any books that you recommend to help dealing with anxiety, stress, etc.? Anxiety, stress, etc. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I have good recommendations. Actually, this is a little bit off topic. Self-esteem related. If self-esteem is in the ballpark of what you're looking for, like something that's calming, reassuring, that's like, you know what, I'm okay. I am okay. My recommendation there would be Brené Brown's, was it the Action? Is that it? Brené Brown's first book, Brené, which is BRENE, The Gifts of Imperfection. I think that's a great book. I listened to it on audio, and Let's see. I mean, if you have access to a bookstore or something, I was gifted this book by a wonderful lady named Christine, and it's the things you can only see when you slow down, and it's written by a Korean person. I'm not Korean, and it is a best-selling book. The over 3 million copies sold. So, um, I read it. It has like some nice passages, and it talks a lot about kind of like very like calming. So, I mean, if you have access to read it, why not? Let's see what else. What other things would I recommend here? If anyone else has any recommendations, like help each other out, like answer your each other's questions. Does anyone have any recommendations on with anxiety, stress, etc.? I'm trying to think what else. What else do I know? Yeah, tea and cream. Please forgive me. Like the more we go along, like one thing I get to do is I get to put together a book list for like different categories, so I could kind of give resources of what recommendations for when people um feel stuff, feel anxiety or feel stress, or they want to improve their self-esteem. Maria Habits, in regards to anxiety, stress, etc. Tea and cream. Maria recommends the Monkey Mind. I think that's what she means. The Monkey Mind, which I think I've heard of that book. Um, it's about controlling the monkey mind. Is well, that's a principle of it. So that's one thing there. Let's continue on with the comments. So I'm going to continue on with Tea and Cream, and then Kitty Marie, I'm going to go to you next. Tea and Cream says, "Thank you so much for creating these live streams. I hope everything works out for you. And remember, YouTube and Facebook community is here for you. Thank you so much, Tea and Cream. I appreciate that. And the best thing about life." The best thing about life is that everything will always work out. So even though I'm feeling maybe anxious or anymore, but I'm still feeling anxious. Even though I'm feeling that in this morning, in this moment, it's just a phase. Like it's going to go away. So first, I trust that this is like all emotions are just temporary. So if you're feeling sad, angry, frustrated, depressed, emotions will go away eventually. Even though they feel like they're forever sometimes. And I'm going to continue working on my anxiety that I'm feeling in this moment. Maybe do a little bit more and probably breathing, taking some deep breaths. I think that will support me a lot. So it's kind of weird. It's like I'm still trying to master my like how to reduce my anxiety like in a split second type of thing. And I think I know the girl I'm dating, like she's a master with anxiety, or she's really good at it, like managing anxiety. And does meditation. Like if she's feeling anxious, like she just meditates, and like 5 minutes later, she's ready. She's like, okay, I'm good. How do you do that? So I got to learn more from her when we get an opportunity to talk about it. Let's see. Yeah. Also suggests full catastrophe living. Full catastrophe. Let's see. I'm guessing it's full catastrophe living is the name of the book. So if you're looking for reducing anxiety, Maria recommends full catastrophe living. That's what I'm guessing. There's a typo in there somewhere. So Maria, thank you for your recommendation. That's super helpful. I'm grateful. And Maria also says she's an avid reader, which I would say gives her credibility. Okay. Kitty, let's get to Kitty. Kitty says, "I think your day was not so good. What happened? If you really are anxious, just remember you are amazing. I know you're going to get through this or get through." Let's see. And then Kitty continues by saying, "Hey, Richard, when I was very, very unhappy last year, I started a horrible habit. It is too personal. You might judge. Please help." No, okay, first of all, Kitty, just let you know, like I'm not here to judge anyone. You know, I don't want to say everyone, but I want to say in general, most people who are on the stream are not like we're not here to judge anyone. You know, we're here to support each other and to learn and grow. So uh, again, I'm not going to force anyone to share anything that they don't want to, but what I'm going to say is like things. So for any human being out there, aka all of us, um like that we have, however quote unquote embarrassing we think that they are, like they're just human habits. You know, it's like Kitty, I don't know what your habits are, but what I know from my own experience is sometimes we judge ourselves. We feel guilty for having certain habits. Yeah. So I know for myself, I've had habits in my past that I felt guilty for. I totally get it. Goodness. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, I would so why I'm pausing right now is very open person. Like if you message me, I'll tell you, you know, like habits and stuff like that of the potential audience. I gotta be somewhat careful what I say. So anyway, I know that's not serving or whatever, but I will tell you one of the habits that I felt really embarrassed to share. I thought it was people would judge me extremely was playing video games. I know today. I know today, like playing video games is very normal. You know, like I think remember seeing a statistic where about close to 80, like 73 to 80% of all teenage boys play video games today. So back in my day, back in my day, like I mean, a lot of people still played video games, but in my family environment, video games was highly shunned upon. Like it was wasting your life if you're playing video games. So I had a lot of video games, and I remember when I started telling people, "Hey, I play video games," like they're like, "Okay, so what? It doesn't matter." And there's other things that are, you know, quote unquote more embarrassing, and I share those with people, and they're like, "So what? Like that's normal, you know? Like okay, whatever." Um, Kitty, like again, like I'm not trying to pry out, you know, what is this have? Like we all have it, and you know, I know people who I want to say watch porn. You know, I know people who watch porn. Like it's I don't know. There's so many different habits. Like how do I say? My point is like I feel like we just judge ourselves, and really I don't. In my opinion, there really is no reason to judge people for their habits. If people judge you, like it's nothing personal to you. Like that's on them, not you. And again, this goes back to don't take anything personally. So goodness, this is a very raw conversation. So raising my hand, calling myself out, imperfect human being, but working on it. So I'm grateful for that. So anyway, I was at Suplantation today again, salad buffet pretty much, and I was eating, and I noticed sitting next to me was an overweight person, and like you know, my old self would judge a lot about like, oh, you know, this person's overweight, you know, they're probably going to eat a lot of food, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And even though I noticed, you know, I noticed this person was overweight, my mind went to, okay, Rich, like don't judge. Like you don't know people's stories. You know, you don't know what they've been through. So um anyway, my main point is like I believe the goal is for all of us to stop judging other people, stop judging ourselves, and just accept other people for who they are, accept ourselves for who we are. You know, we are all human beings. We all have desires. We whatever desires you have is very human. It's normal. So don't beat yourself up or don't feel guilty for having whatever habits that you have. It's perfectly human. So the quicker you accept yourself and the quicker you understand whatever it does not matter what habits you have. It does not matter if you are a pedophile. Like, I know it's shunned upon. I know people like hate on pedophiles, and I'm not saying you should encourage pedophilia. But my point is, I okay, you could disagree with me, but I accept. I I try to accept everyone for who they are. So if I meet someone and they're like, "Hey, Richard, I'm a pedophile," I'm like, "Cool. I'm not going to judge you because I don't know your history." And here's another thing. I I want to know your history. Made you the way that you are today? What made you? You're an adult, but you like children. A little bit of an extreme example, but there always is a reason that they are. Pedophiles. I I don't know the psychology behind this, but in my guess, I'm guessing pedophiles are people who have a lot of love growing up from their parents. This is my guess. I don't know the whole psychology behind it, but my guess is very emotionally unstable relationship um, with their parents, or the ones that they loved, and that's why they ended up developing this somewhat of an obsession, have an attraction towards kids. Anyway, my point is judging people. Everyone has a reason for the way that they do things, and and I feel like this is where I'm gonna get a little bit controversial here. So my opinion again. I'm not saying other things I'm going to mention right now are right. There's a reason why people act the way that they do. Let's talk about murderers. Let's talk about rapists. Let's talk about terrorists. There's always a reason why people become the way that they are. And I think understanding why do they end up being the way that they are, and not judging them. They were placed in a certain environment that created them to be the way that they are. So we were all created in a certain environment. Of course, I get it. We all have choices, stuff like that. But I try not to judge. We are all trying to grow at the same time. None of us are perfect. So, don't judge other people. Don't judge yourself. Maria, is it too extreme? Is it? This is real stuff, though. Disagree with me. You could agree with this is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. It's I just we can. How do I say this? I believe acceptance is such a huge thing. That's kind of my vision for the world in a way. My mission and my vision for the world is to see a world where we all just accept each other and we accept ourselves. I think when we start judging people, it isolates people struggling. When we start judging them, when we start putting that kind of pressure, oh, you really shouldn't be doing that. That's really bad. How do you think they feel? Probably bad. Now, granted, we can. This is a whole nother conversation. We can get into a conversation of some people have mental illnesses and of understanding, how to live in the society, stuff like we can get into that conversation, and that's not really where I'm trying to get to. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop it there. Omar, good to see you on, brother. Good to see you on. All right. Sorry. Who asked for the book? Tea and Cream. Tea and Cream asked for the book recommendation. So, let's see. The book that Maria was recommending is called Full Catastrophe Living by John Kabat, and that's JONKABAT, and that's a book that's relating to how to deal with or how to work through anxiety, all that kind of stuff. All right. Alrighty, let's do this. We got more questions. He says, when you had low self-esteem, did you and eat a lot of junk food? So when I had low self-esteem, I never got to a point where I did self-harm. And again, for anyone who does self harm, like obviously, I would prefer if people were not harming themselves, but there's a reason why we all do things. Did I eat a lot of junk food? Yes, I ate a lot of junk food when same for sure. I mean, I also just ate a lot of junk food because it tastes good too, and very much an emotional eater growing up. Like I just, I don't know. There's a little bit of those fat kid genes in me, as in, I'm not trying to be insulting here, but I'm just saying like, love to eat junk food, growing up, and even though I eat cleaner right now, there's still that part of me that's like, ooh, maybe one day I'll eat some good junk food again, some cheat days or something. Okay. Ontalk says, nah. I see myself being afraid to make eye contact when I'm in public situations like school. Like I don't look at anybody. Any tips? So all right, hold on. I want to break this. Pedos are not good. I don't know how to say this. I just want to make a quick comment here. I'm gonna voice my opinion, and I hate to be the center of attention on this, my live stream here, because I'm the only one who has a vocal voice capability. Sorry, I'm voice my opinion here. Like, I would prefer if people were not pedophiles. Like, let's all respect each other's space, that kind of stuff. But there are pedophiles in our world, and for me, it's like I want to just accept them for who they are. That's I don't want to say they're not good. I prefer that people. I think we should all be respectful of each other for sure. Pedophiles aren't good. I want to say pedophilia is not good because it's disrespectful. If that makes sense, I don't want to accuse human beings. If that makes yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's not going. Hopefully you understand the main point of what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Keely says, "Is it normal to be sad when you see someone you are trying to move on from?" I think it's completely normal to feel sad on from someone, because when you see a person that let's say you like, or you had a crush on, or yeah, it's going to be a reminder. It presents something to you. It represents pain. Because that's what you feel. Onathox says, I see myself being afraid to make eye contact when in a public situation like school. I don't at anybody. Any tips? My tip for you, Angel, is to this is funny. I'm gonna point someone out here. So the girl I'm dating, like on our first few dates, like literally, she was a little bit shy with eye contact, and I'm like for me, I'm all about eye contact. Like I used to be very shy too, but for me, eye contact is so important. Like eyes are the window to the soul. So yeah. With that being said, like if you want to learn how to make eye contact with people, literally it's just make eye contact with people. You got to practice it, and the more you do it, it's going to be uncomfortable. Do it over time, you're going to get more and more comfortable with it. And like I get it, it's scary. I like to challenge people too, like eye contact, and please keep going. Just practice. Force yourself to look into someone's eyes. I would, if anything, let me see here. If anything, a good place to start that's a little bit less uncomfortable. A good place if you're trying to learn how to make eye contact with people, I would say a place to start that is a little easier might, off the top of my head, I'm feeling people who already make eye contact with you. So if someone's making eye contact with you, let's say a teacher or someone, an adult or someone is making eye contact with you, but you look away when you talk, I would say that's probably the easiest way to start. Why? Because that person already has the intention of wanting to connect with you. If they're making eye contact, that means they want to connect with you. Now, if they don't make eye contact with you, don't make assumptions. That can mean a lot of different things. So my point here is, like, let's say you have a classmate that you're having a conversation with, and you try to make eye contact with him or her, and they start looking away. You're gonna start creating all these thoughts in your head, like, oh my goodness, this person thinks I'm a creep, whatever, things like that. But if someone's already wanting to make eye contact with you, that's a good practice. That way, it's not like you don't feel rejected, and it's not as discouraging. So that's my tip on eye contact. Practice, just practice, practice, practice. Um, Seriously, it goes a long way. I have, I sometimes I do exercises where, uh, honestly, like sometimes I'll just stare at people. I'll stare at people for, like really, really engaged, because eye contact is so important. Like, it's, if you want to really connect with another human being, I think eye contact is super, super important. So that's what I got there. Judging, I really regret what I did. How can I stop myself from doing it again? Thanks for letting for confidence, Kitty. You're most welcome. You are most straight up welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that we are able to connect, even though I don't, I haven't seen you physically. By the way, Kitty, I'm not gonna lie. I think I already figured out what what your thing is. Now, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. I have a guess of what it is. That's why I think. But anyway, like I said, like, I'm not judging you for who you are. I accept the whatever you've done in the past, and you get to accept yourself for yourself too. And how do you stop yourself from doing it again? Pushing yourself, I would say. It's um, continuing to talk about it. I think when you start opening up and you start sharing with other people, kind of this bad habit that you have, then I believe you're gonna, first of all, that's gonna help let go of that pressure that you have built up, that you have bottled up inside. And we talked about this yesterday, bottling up emotions to the right people about it. It's going to really support you with, and I believe when you start connecting with people and you start sharing about this challenge that you're going through, realize, number one, it's not, I don't want to say it's not that bad. It's I'm guessing what your bad habit is. Um, it's, I don't want to say it's bad either. Like, it's like, when you start connecting with people, you'll understand, like, oh shoot, like, it's really more acceptable than I thought it was. And not saying that you should keep doing a bad habit, but I'm just saying it's quote normal. I want to say what it is, but I don't want to. I don't want to put you on blast right now either. And I don't. The thought I have is correct, but anyway, I'm thinking about other people who have done this one thing, and so if I'm guessing correctly, you're not the first. Like, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who have the same bad habit, in general. It's just, yeah, it's okay. The more you talk about it, the more whatever habit it is, the more you talk about it, the more you connect with people about it, the more you realize it's okay, or not that it's okay, but that's yeah. If you got a bad habit, keep pushing through. Be strong, and really, whenever you have like this desire or urge to do a certain bad habit, I would say on other people for support. And it's sometimes it's tough, and I know not all of us have that support. And in a way, that's kind of why I'm here too. I'm here for a little bit of support as well. Most definitely hope that you continue to seek out, whether it's family or making other friends as well that are there for you all the time with these. But I'm only one person. But sending love, and all right. Facebook, I see your comments. I'm going to get to your comments in just a second. I want to hold on, wait. Okay. And then I'm going to jump back to Jaden's question, and everyone Oh, nice. Okay, so Angel, you're talking about how do you make eye contact? Oh goodness, Maria, that. I don't even know why I didn't think about this. Maria's suggestion is beautiful. It's amazing. If you want to practice making eye contact, look in the mirror first. That's yeah. Thank you for that one. Like that's seriously like I got a mirror right here. Just that was so genius. I don't even know why I didn't think about that. So like just look in the mirror. I challenge you. Look in the mirror for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just connect with yourself. You know, look into your soul. Oh, that is so powerful. Like it's for some of you, it might be really embarrassing to like look in a mirror and be like make eye contact with yourself because you're not used to it. And like you can, I'm gonna stare at myself for a second. Hold on. Oh goodness, I don't know how to say this. Uh, connecting with yourself and like I believe it's so powerful. So thank you for that recommendation, Maria. And Day, I love you. What? Oh, and say I love you. So Maria says and say I love you. Uh, I agree with that too. I think mirror connecting eye to eye, more like on a deeper level, like a soul level, not just like hey, what's going on? No, it's like I love you. I love you. I love you. Like it's being very present and intentional with your words. Yeah, thank you, Maria. That's very powerful. Maria said it's a very powerful exercise and gives you self confidence to look at others. I agree with that. Lauren Doyle on Facebook says, I think eye contact is acknowledging someone and beyond that. Um, I I think it could be both. Thank you for your opinion, Lauren. I think contact is acknowledging someone, and I also believe it's an opportunity to connect beyond that, depending on situation for sure. But for the most part, my intention, my goal is, even if it's a stranger or like, let's say it's the receptionist at my gym, when I say good morning in a rush and, I scan my little card and walk in. But sometimes I will say, hey, good morning, and try to connect with that person. So that's what I got. Maria says life coach and clinical psychologist here. Awesome. So many people find it so hard. Thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge. Cool. Okay, let's go to Jaden. Jaden says, did you ever experience anything with video game addiction, and how did you cope, prevent yourself from being so attached? Jaden, yes. Video game addiction was definitely a big part of my life. I used to play a lot of games. Sometimes, I mean, keep in mind that I worked and I was a student and I was also so when I say some days I would play 12 hours a day, maybe I don't know, sometimes maybe even 14 hours a day. For me, like that pretty much I'd be playing all day. I had periods in my life where I would either play video games all day long when I didn't have days to work. Right after I got off from work, I would just be playing video games all the way till night. Tired because I didn't sleep a lot. Go back to work, come out and play video games. And sometimes like I would have such an urge to play video games where I would work, and then during my lunch break, I would drive home, play a game of League of Legends, and go back to work again. Yeah. So how do you cope slash prevent yourself from being so attached? Speak for myself, how I kind of move forward from it. Number one, it was just a little bit of pushing myself in discipline. It was uninstalling the game. So that was the easiest, like most efficient way for me to stop playing it was I would notice I'm like acknowledge, number one's acknowledgement. Uh acknowledge like I'm playing too much League of Legends. So I would stop playing. I'm like, okay, last game, whatever. Last game, and then I don't have self-control, so I'm just gonna uninstall the game. I would uninstall the game, delete all the files, that would support me in not playing again. But sometimes, let's say like 2 weeks later or 2 months later, I might go back to playing again. So I went back and forth for many years. I would say what keeps me from Legends is one, it's self awareness. It's knowing, I know because I've been through this journey, I know that playing this game makes me feel. I know how much it crushes my self esteem because I start to feel I start to feel bad. Like I start to feel like I'm wasting time. Mine is going into that mindless entertainment space where it's like I'm not even enjoying playing it. I'm just playing it just to play. I know it's not supporting me. It's not making me happy. So that's another reason to quit. And then having a bigger why or having a something else that excites me. So I know when I'm stuck in my video game world, it's like everything else. It's easy to tune out relationships. I remember I like stopped talking to my friends and my family. I remember when I was playing video games, I stopped caring about work. I stopped caring about life. I just games like that's it. So um really when I started, I don't want to say I made a conscious decision, but to some extent I made a conscious decision to switch my focus from video games. Other thing that I had, which is called motivational speaking. Um, Whatever, people have the stereotype, but motivational speaker has their life together. Not always. Um, anyway, so being a inspirational speaker and life coach, like all that whole path that I went on, I just realized it's more authentic joy. It's a journey of wins. I might fail once in a while. I pursue this journey of helping other people, supporting other people, making YouTube videos, whatever it is. This path, I know that it's going to make me feel good, and it's positive all steps along the way because I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly learning how to be better. I'm learning how to be happier. I'm giving to other people, so it's like it's a win-win, as opposed to video games, which is sometimes win, sometimes lose, and ultimately, in my opinion, in my experience, lose. It makes me feel worse than it makes me feel good. So that's a lot to say. Hopefully, I'll support it. I want to put in a quick little disclaimer. I do not opposed to people playing video games. If you are passionate about video games and I'm I'm not judging. Some people, I know a lot of grown-ups who play video games and they fit it into their life, and if it works for you, it works for you. Great. Perfect. Okay. Maria Habits says she has to go. Thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for providing your book recommendation and your wisdom and your technique of looking in the mirror, making eye contact. That's thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night, Maria. We're live stream is still going on, so let's keep this going. Oh goodness. Hey, good to see you, Avery. It's been a cool minute. It's been a while. Avery says, I do. I have things to share. Oh, I'm so happy I saw you were on. Oh, Avery was one of the first people to be on these live streams when I started. When I rebooted it up like a month ago or so. So it's super cool to see Avery on. Jaden, try finding an outdoor activity you love and get close to nature. This is what my grandpa did. I like that. That's a great. Avery says, okay, so here's my question. I'm starting college classes, with adults through a program that allows me, a high school student, to attend these courses. To have what? To be a first impression when meeting people so much older than me. I don't want to be the annoying high schooler, if that makes sense. Thank you so much. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Means, oh, whoops. I was reading. Okay. Yeah. So Avery's question is essentially about to take college classes with quote unquote adults. How do you come up? What's the best way to make a first impression without feeling like a annoying high schooler? I'm like, I don't know if my opinions are right, but honestly, my first gut answer is to don't think like you're a annoying high schooler. Like don't like you what you focus on expands. So if you focus on being an annoying high schooler, you're going to become an annoying high schooler. But if you stop focusing on that, if you just be yourself. If you just be yourself, then be okay. And honestly, like if you don't say anything, most people won't really know how old you are. Um, College and high school are kind of the same. I mean, depends where. Like if you are like a community college where you have a mix of younger people and like I don't know people in their 30s and 40s, that out. But people who are recent high school grads who are starting college, it's to tell, So that's all I have to say. Let's see here. Okay, so first impressions. I don't know how to say it, like just seriously, my opinion is just be yourself. Like don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just be. I don't know what else to say here. Stop trying to impress people. Just be yourself. It's remember that uh, all human beings are just human beings. It doesn't matter if they're older than you. It doesn't matter if idle. All human beings are human beings. So that's one thing that I continue to strive for, and I just continue encouraging, which is treat everyone like just a normal human being. I don't care if your name is Elon Musk or whatever. Goodness, I'm thinking about Elon Musk right now, and I'm getting butterflies. But I think really, uh, it's unless someone has a really really big ego, I feel like most human beings just want to be treated like human beings. So talk about Elon Musk. If you're hanging out with Elon Musk, and I'm pretty sure like he'll be flattered if you're fanboying or fangirling. That's Elon Musk or whatever it is. Um, Sorry, that wasn't the most hip example ever, but he's a pretty cool guy. I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk would prefer if you just hung out and just chilled like a human being, like had a normal conversation. So control the way we feel. So Avery, when you're in that moment when you're hanging out with people anxious, try to relax. Everything will be okay. Just be. Okay. Alrighty. Let's roll. He says, hey, I get very jealous easily. Please help. I'm sorry, I have a problem. I am insecure mess. Kitty, that's perfectly okay. It's human. Don't be so hard on yourself. I get it. We are often hard on ourselves because we are wanting to grow and improve ourselves. Real quick, sorry for interrupting. People on YouTube, can you do me a quick favor and just let me know? Have you noticed choppiness in the stream, or is it pretty solid? I'd like to know. Just I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all. Let's see. Yep. Because no one has complained. I'm using the same exact internet setup. So, yep. Okay. So, how do you stop being jealous? And Kitty, I'm going to just repeat again. I appreciate you so much for being willing to humility, your humbleness, your willingness to admit that you have challenges, and the fact that you're asking questions to me is I like you because you have challenges and you're willing to grow. Challenges, but they're not willing to grow, and you're someone who's asking questions, which is that's the best way to learn. And have a lot of trust and faith in that everything will, especially for you, will be okay. Um, Jealousy, Kitty, like a big thing for you in general is self acceptance. It's accept that you are human. Accept that you have human emotions. Jealousy is a very human emotion. Accept it. It's okay. That's probably one of the best things you can do for that will probably solve all your problems in a way. One of the first steps is accept action. Accept is a huge word for you. If you accept all the insecurities, the jealousy, the all the stories that you have, just accept it. Like just be okay that you feel jealous, and I get it. We all want to be better. We all want to not feel jealous and have these negative emotions. I feel jealous sometimes too, and I agree with you. I don't always feel great about feeling jealous. It just happens. And for myself, it's like, okay, for me, I need to just like, okay, Richard, I'm feeling jealous, but it's human. It's I will say like sometimes selves to change is not always the best way. Sometimes we just got to let it flow. And um, other piece that you can work on, this is more advanced and challenging, even for me, is self awareness. It's slowing down and let's say you got friends are hanging out with other friends and they didn't invite you to do something. Like, wait, what? Like, how come they're hanging out? How come I wasn't invited? And you start feeling jealous or whatever it is. Our natural reaction is to feel bad, get rejected, or the guy and the girls hanging out together and they're not hanging out with me, or I got rejected. But self awareness, jealousy, self awareness, jealousy. Sorry, I got distracted because Kim Heng is in the house. Good to see you, Kim. I saw your name pop up, so I just want to say hello. Um, Back to Kitty. So, how do you improve your jealousy and all those feelings? Self awareness. Try to understand why do you feel jealous. Okay, so I'm going to try using a personal example. Sometimes I feel jealous when how do I say this? What's a good example here? I'm going to use a generic example because it's challenging. Sometimes I might feel jealous if other friends are hanging out together, or they're giving other people attention and not myself. For me, it's honestly, I don't have the perfect answer to this, but it's like if anyone has a great answer, let me know. But it's for me, it's just like calming down and being like, okay, you know, it's okay. I feel jealous because I'm not being acknowledged like they are. I don't feel as special. Um, and I always remind myself nothing is ever personal. So if I'm not being acknowledged, it's nothing personal. They're just doing their thing. So that's number one. Number two, it's I try to just let it go. I would say that's what I do, and it's not the best answer, but that's what I have for now. I'm sure there's more. If anyone has anything, let me know. Avery says, "Thanks, Richard. I'm just nervous, but also super excited. I'm doing better than I have been. Thank you, Avery." And it's perfectly normal to feel nervous and also excited. I'm glad you're excited. Yeah, just let it flow. Everything will be good. Dunklin. Dunklin says, I feel like I got depressed over the fact I didn't care about them anymore. I don't know why I was like that, and I still don't know why. Oh, sorry. I was like, I felt like Dunklin says, okay. Alrighty. Avery, thank you for letting me know that the stream is a little bit choppy. Sorry, I remembering to choose the correct internet because I could stream from my data, which is more reliable than the stream, but then lower video quality. Dunklin says, great timing. Last year, I started feeling held down. I just stopped caring. I lost family is always number one, and I love my family, but didn't change anything. Okay, so you're feeling really down last year. You stopped caring. You lost all care for the world. And then Dumplin continues by saying, I feel like I got depressed over the fact I didn't care about them anymore, family, about anything. I don't know why I was like that, and I still don't know why. Okay. So, Dunklin, what I want to say here is depression is kind of it's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a downward spiral in a way. So what happens is depression starts with like, one little thing. It starts with like a little bit of negativity. And what happens is, the negativity will add on and keep building and building and building and building and building. And it'll just keep growing and growing, 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 growing. And so I wouldn't say the reason why you got depressed was over the fact that you didn't care about your family anymore. And, you really value your family and they're your number one. It's because of whatever else was happening before, that added up, that got you to a place where you stopped caring about your family. So why you're depressed, from what I'm hearing, I believe. So if you want to figure out why you feel the way you do, I don't. It takes some digging. If you really want to understand why you feel depressed, I'll tell you, it's probably not family, neglect of your family. However, it snowballs. So if you feel sad and then all of a sudden you start neglecting your family, you're going to feel even more sad because you feel like you're not being yourself. You're not caring for your family like you usually do, which is really important to you. So I think it's kind of like breaking down one by one, pinpointing what are the reasons why you feel depressed. Why do you feel sad? I don't know how old you are, but my general guess is people are in school. So I'm gonna guess you're in middle school, high school. I'm gonna say high school. So I'm just gonna guess you're in high school. Correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe it's school. Maybe school is affecting your depression. Like your grades aren't very good. Maybe you're being bullied or rejected by other people. You don't fit in, so maybe that's adding to your depression. Now you got your family that you don't feel very motivated to hang out with anymore, or connect with anymore, so you feel even more depressed. It's noticing what are all the different reasons why you feel sad. Almost like I would encourage you to write a list. What are all the reasons why you feel sad? And write them all out. And I feel like it's hard to do things when we don't care about the world. I've been there. It can get so dark. It can feel so depressing, and to the point where it's almost like, I'm pretty sure Dumplin and other people who've ever been in that place of darkness, it's like you're so depressed you don't even want to go on YouTube to watch this live stream. Like was feeling really down. I didn't even YouTube how to get over depression. I just was in my own filth, and I didn't know what to do. So I understand that. So write out a list, and I feel like the cure for depression is action. So challenging. If you are really stuck in a dark place, it is so hard to push ourselves to move forward. My opinion is, I believe one of the best things you could do is create a routine that you can stick with. Don't just create a routine just because I told you to create a routine. Stick to every single week. So start easy, start simple. Just do little things like exercise once a week for whatever. Go for a 5-minute walk, whatever it is. Or if a routine is too big for you, just do it once. But then have that idea of a routine. I think a routine is probably tools to get back on track. Why? Because the routine is consistent. Like a routine keeps you accountable. It's like exactly what you get to do every single week. So I think if you're feeling down, routine is a good way to go. Oh man, everyone's saying choppy at times. I'm sad. I'm sorry about the choppiness for my YouTube people. I will work on fixing that. I'm so sad. Like my internet used to be super good and solid. Now it's all over the place. I switched carriers, and T-Mobile's but it's not as powerful as AT&T. And I mean, whatever. Okay. Chris Gonzalez says meditation helps with depression. Thank you for that one. Oh. So let's see. Armando says, hello there, Richard. I still have trouble with myself, and that's bad. I want to know what to do Oh, sorry. What do you think of my mom forcing me to eat 3 quote unquote perfect meals per day? When I mean perfect, I mean meals that will satisfy my stomach, but tripled. Let's see. It is kind of getting on my nerves that I will suddenly get to eat much than I need to, while being forced to eat without mattering whether I'm hungry or not. So, Armando, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not perfectly clear on what you're saying, but what I'm guessing or what I'm hearing you say is that your mom feeds you 3 meals a day, whether or not you feel hungry or not. And typically, I'm guessing you don't really feel hungry, but she makes you eat it anyway. What are my thoughts on that? Um, if that is the case, oh, hold on. I see you wrote more. Armando continues by saying, "My mom it takes it very seriously. While I find it ridiculous, since the fact that she encourages me to gain some weight because my clothes find me very thin. One thing she said that I can agree on is that I should work on my muscles. So true. Okay, so again, Armando, what I'm hearing from you is that your mom always feeds you 3 meals a day, which is a good problem to have. Um, at least she's feeding you, but it's like she's really serious about making sure that you eat enough food. And what I'm hearing is sometimes you're not hungry, but you got to eat the food because your mom makes the food. If that is the case, that kind of reminds me of my mom. And by the way, we should both be super super grateful for our moms who put food on the table for us, because moms like that, a lot, good amount do, but not all moms. So I definitely know what you mean. Sometimes I just wouldn't feel hungry. She would always kind of force me to eat anyway. And let's see. In that opinion, oh goodness, this is a tough one. It depends. That's a tough one to say. It's how open your relationship with your mom. Growing up, whatever my mom said goes. I don't really argue with her. But as I started getting older and she would give me food, started letting her know, hey, I'm not hungry right now, and I upset a little bit, but then eventually she was accepting of it. She started learning that sometimes I just didn't want to eat right now. Which also be mindful of her because she took the time cooking. So one a few years ago, whatever it is, my mom was making food for me. Um, I would be intentional, be like, "Hey, ma, like, just like, no, I'm not hungry. Please don't cook anything for me." I mean, this is when I'm much older. She wouldn't cook, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of a balance. Sorry, I don't have a super clear answer, but do your research on nutrition and see what kind of foods that you need. Whatever, you can count the calories. You can see if it works with your workout. Oh, I mean, it sounds like you get to work out more, build up some muscles. So yeah. Alrighty, let me see if there's any additional information that I missed. Okay. He says, "Are you currently studying psychology?" Not formally. I don't study psychology formally. I do podcasts. I watch a lot of on YouTube. So they interview a bunch of different successful people slash not so into. I'm not so into formal psychology. I'm more into. I'm gonna call it like modern psychology. It's like this personal help. I listen to a lot of Tom Bilyeu, Impact Theory, and Lewis Howes, The School of Greatness. I'm always consuming that kind of information. They always bring in a lot of thought leaders, so that's good food for thought. That's a lot of my learning. And then yeah, when people send me YouTube videos once in a while, I'll check them out. I reading, I don't do as much. I know this is a limiting belief, but I don't feel like I'm as great of a reader. I'd rather watch things because that helps me soak things in easier and quicker. I do read once in a while. Alrighty. All right. Dumpling Duckling says, "Yeah, but I've been trying to, yeah, I've been trying to figure that out because I don't like this state. I know, and it upsets me. I ain't grateful for it anymore." Words, Richard. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment, Dumpling. Yeah, just I guess all right now, one step at a time is what I have to say for that. You look sad. Normally, you are enthusiastic, and we could see your smile and dimples. Hope you are okay, Richard. I'm actually okay right now. To be honest, away because I'm focusing on this conversation. If I look sad, um, let me see here. Yeah, I don't feel sad. I don't feel sad. There is a tiny little bit of that. I know there's still things I get to deal with in terms of the conversations and things I got to work through. I know it's not going to go away until I address it. So maybe that's a little bit on my mind, just a little bit. So yeah, but overall, I'm good. Alrighty. Armando says, in this case, I don't really think it's really about food, but more like healthy habits they're trying to do. But I can't really trust some of my family's beliefs. And sister are extremely judgmental of someone's looks and suddenly getting to sneak eating snacks. Just saying, okay, got it. So more about she have healthy habits, but you don't agree or trust them completely. So if that's the case, if I'm hearing you correctly, is your own research. I would encourage you to go on your own journey and try to figure out nutrition for yourself, like what's healthy for you. Disagree with your parents. I want to say respectfully. Sometimes it's hard because if your parents are stubborn, they're stubborn. So, like health, I feel is a very, in my opinion, in my experience, it's a very experiential process. Like, there are like thousands. Everyone has their own opinion on health, and what I realized for myself is like the health advice that I'm going to follow is the one that I feel like is going to work for me. So I'll give you a few examples. Um, Out of all the health advices that I've gotten throughout the years, and by the way, there's a ton of things that I know might work for me or might be good for me, but I just don't do them because it's like it doesn't click for me yet. Some example is I don't do vitamins, or I don't take supplements. I know that's huge. I know a lot of people take supplements. I just don't do it. It's just the seed is planted into my mind. Maybe one day I'll start doing supplements, but I don't right now. I'm gonna say like whatever you want to call it. I'm vegetarian, want to be vegan, but not straight up vegan. Like that doesn't work for me. What's popular out there? Doesn't work for me. I carbs. I don't eat processed carbs. Like I do my best. I don't buy bread. I don't buy cereal. I don't buy. But I'll eat just a little bit if it's like inside my food. Whatever. Baked potato was pretty heavy on the carbs, so that's a little bit of an exception. Um, let's see. Yep. So follow your gut and follow your bliss. Follow your own. Is what I'll have to say there. What we got here. Yeah. So again, Armando, for anyone and for anyone else, if people give you health advice, like you do your own thing. Like this is how you should work out. You should do chest. These and then muscle grips on this day, and then I got advice to gain weight and gain muscle. Don't do cardio because that makes you tired and it actually makes you fatter or something like that because of your metabolism. Sure, scientifically, there is some proof of that, possibly. But guess what? I still do cardio. I still do cardio. I still lift weights because I choose to. It makes me feel good. So I'm going to do that. Oh, that's what I got. Like, follow your own path. Like, listen to your body and observe yourself. The more you observe yourself, the more you'll see work. And so for me, it's working. It's working for me. I've lost 15 pounds in the past month and a half. I've learned how to eat clean because I did it my own way. I didn't guideline, but then I broke some rules and I'm doing my own thing, and it's working for me. 6 days vegetarian, 1 day meatitarian is working for me. Lean meats 1 day a week. So, okay, let's see here. Johnny Lex says, I'm pretty disappointed. I spent at least 6+ hours trying to find a simple circuit module. I ended up scrapping the idea. Johnny, what I'm going to say is, say waste of time. I know that's really cheesy cliche, but like every single that we have is just an opportunity for us to grow and learn. This like everything takes time to learn, and again, like for me, I wasted 3.5 years learning how to run a speaking business. It took me 3.5 years to waste a lot of time to figure out how to get to where I am today, which is still trying to figure it out, and that's okay. Like that is the process. Just be patient and be okay with that. More cliche, cheesy side, but we can't change the past. So see, Prime Nick, good to see you on. Let's see. Prime Nick says it's crypto. Prime Nick, definite purpose teacher, master guru. Hilarious. I love it. Whoa, what the? How did you have an orange highlighted? Cool. I've never seen that before. Bread. Uh-oh. Of course, you get more weight while doing muscle. You get pumped. Yeah. So, okay, that's what I got. We are at the 1 hour 33 minute mark, and we're caught up with our questions. So now's a good time to start wrapping up. So as most of you know, how we wrap up is one by answering any question that comes in, but mainly the main topic of today, which is feeling sad for no reason. Of today's talk is feel like we feel sad for no reason, but there always is a reason. And a lot of times, a common emotion that I believe we feel is anxiety. Anxiety for no reason. We don't know why we feel anxiety. So if we want to move forward, I believe the 3-step model that I always use, acknowledge, accept, model to move forward from this. Acknowledge that you have this feeling of anxiety. Let it be. Take action towards moving forward. I think what's important to really breaking down anxiety and letting go of the anxiety is understanding what is making you feel anxious. If you're feeling anxious, you haven't addressed in a while, it could be a lot of things compiled up. So it's important to take time to break down into individual steps or individual thoughts of anxious. Okay, my exam for this, for math, my exam for science, who are, picking on me, that's making me feel anxious, responding back to me, my family, so list out everything that's making you feel anxious, and then one by one accept it. Like, okay, I feel anxious. I'm just gonna let it be. Feel anxious, let the anxiety be. As in, just notice it and let it flow. Don't try to resist it. Don't try to change it. Just let it flow. And eventually the anxiety will go away. Also, take action. Once you've broken down what's causing anxiety, one by one, try to figure out how do you improve your anxiety in each one of those areas. So a gut feeling for the day and suggestions based off my opinions. Non-scientific, but hopefully that was supportive. Saying this is really choppy. Sorry about that for anyone on YouTube. If you experienced choppiness and you could hear what I'm saying, thank you for being on, and I will fix that for tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully, I'll remember. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.